Last night, the Clash in the Canyon featured the longest-hitting men and women on the planet. We'll have all the highlights and the winner from the men's event on the show today. As well as our Golf Channel Academy lead coaches, Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott in studio. This legendary duo have worked with some of the best in the game, but now they're here to help you prepare for a round like the pros. And our exclusive fitness series with Gary Player continues as he cranks up the treadmill to a speed you might not believe for a man in his 80s. All that and more as Morning Drive starts right now.
Yes, good morning. It is Wednesday, June 7th. Kyle Robinson alongside Robert Dameron here in Studio AP. We will have Damon Hack, Travis Fulton and Lauren Thompson with us as well. Gary Player, let me tell you, that was a tease because it is quite something watching what he does on a treadmill. What's the fastest speed you run at, Robert?
Run?
Yeah.
I can tell you the fast speed I've walked at. Running is just not part of my vocabulary.
Okay, good to know. Did you stay up there and watch some of that Clash in the Canyon last night?
I watched a little bit of it, but then I got too tired.
You did? Okay, good. You got a little bit more sleep than I did. It was a heck of an evening, though. We'll get to that. Let us get now, though, to what is happening now. And Padraig Harrington has had to withdraw from the FedEx St. Jude Classic after an amateur's practice swing struck him in the elbow during a clinic that he was hosting. Thankfully, nothing was broken, but the three-time major champion did have 6 stitches, which he said will see him sit out of competitive action for 12 days while the injury heals. Well, he eventually made light of the situation on Twitter, posting this. There is no truth in the rumor that it was the amateur's best strike of the day. Yeah, glad to see that he hasn't lost his sense of humor. Still quite a story, though, Robert. Crazy that it's cost him a place in this week's PGA Tour event. Have you ever experienced anything similar?
I shouldn't tempt fate and say this. I've never been hit by a golf ball or a club in all the years I spent on the course, but I did see Brian Davis flew from England to Australia, and I was playing Australian Open, Australian PGA, so 20 plus hours flight, a long flight, let's say, yeah. And his first round, the Pro-Am, first event, his amateur partner hit him in the back of the hand with a ball, broke his hand. He didn't get to hit another shot.
Oh my God.
So he just turned it into a vacation instead of a work trip, I guess.
A long trip from England to Australia. Not a bad place to vacation, though, but not necessarily the plan. Let's get to more news from yesterday, though. And last night, the first of 3 long drive events to air on Golf Channel this year took place in Mesquite, Nevada. The Clash in the Canyon welcomed 32 men and 16 women as part of a tour stop ahead of this year's World Long Drive Championships that will take place in Oklahoma in September. It was the first time that women's long drive has been shown on live national television, so let's get straight to highlights from their final match between the 2016 World Long Drive champion Phyllis Messi and the lady who finished runner-up to her last year, Chloe Garner, and this was Chloe's very first ball, Robert.
That's got to be a very relaxing way to go the rest of the way. When you know you hit your very first one right in the middle, it's solid, you can kind of swing away from there.
That was 342 yards, so Phyllis had a lot to do.
A lot of work to do, but didn't look like it fazed her one bit.
Well, she traveled 7,000 miles from New Zealand to compete in this event. You get 8 attempts. You have to hit each set of 4 balls within 90 seconds. But Chloe Garner, who finished runner-up to Phyllis Messi in the World Long Drive Championships last year, managed to get her own back this time around. These were the longest drives we witnessed on the night. Worth remembering that it was a match-play knockout format, and these didn't necessarily come in the final. So Phyllis Messi's 357-yard drive, for example, wasn't produced in that concluding match against Chloe Garner. Troy Mullins put in a good performance, but ultimately she fell short in the semi-finals. Well, let's transition now to highlights from the men's event, where a 2-time World Long Drive champion Tim Burke faced Ryan Riesbeck, and we will start with Ryan Riesbeck, who was first to go.
Well, he must have missed this one a little because it only went 424. It's just ridiculous.
This was his second ball in his first wave of 4. As you say, 424 yards. You'd think Tim Burke would have it in him, but I have to tell you, this 2-time champion was under the weather yesterday, Robert.
Yeah, it's still way stronger than most mere mortals, but he was under the weather. Didn't slow him down much. 421.
3 yards short. Yeah, that was his last ball in his first set of 4. He had come back on his very last ball in the semi-finals to make his way into the final. But now Ryan Riesbeck would have another chance in his second wave. This his first of that second set of 4.
Again, got to be great to get your best one, the first one. That way you've really taken all the pressure off in your next 3. 436.
Incredible. That solidified the win, and Tim Burke admitted later that he had just run out of gas after producing some excellent drives in the quarters and semi-finals. So the champion did actually end up producing the 2 longest drives that we saw all night. 442 yards was Ryan's biggest. Maurice Allen made it through to the semi-final stage with drives up to 430 yards, and it was a similar distance I mentioned that had pushed Tim Burke into that final match against Ryan Riesbeck. Our colleague Jerry Fultz spoke to both winners yesterday evening.
Joined here by both champions, the men's and women's, from the Clash in the Canyon. Chloe Gardner, this is the first time the women's sport has ever been represented on live TV to a very terrific and excited audience, something a lot of people push for. You represent them now as the winner of this event. Can you put your thoughts around that and what it might mean to you in the long run?
It's a little bit surreal. I didn't ever think. I had always hoped that I would kind of get to this point in my athletic career, but to actually have it happen, it feels great. I've worked a lot of years just at being an athlete, and so to actually have the chance to be out here and showcase my talents and what I've worked for and what women are capable of doing. Like I said before, we're up there with PGA Tour, with the men in terms of golf speed, and so to be able to showcase that and show the world what some of these female golfers are able to do, it's great. It's so exciting.
It was awesome to watch. Congratulations, Ryan. I'll turn to you. You have 5 children over here. The biggest event you've won in long drive. You've won others, but the first TV event right across the border from your home state. Have you had a feeling like this in the past?
No, not this. I mean, this is a mountain for me. It feels like I've climbed the mountain here. And the first couple of events this year were rough. I finished second to Tim earlier this year in another event, and then the last 2 events were I had a rough time. So it was a little bit of redemption coming back, and especially winning on live TV. This is my first Final 8 on a TV event. So it's just I'm just elated.
Awesome. Congratulations to you both. You guys are champions.
Well, it's time now for your Callaway Power Tip as we take a look at the distance of Chloe and Ryan's winning drives. 436 from Riesbeck out-hit Tim Burke in the men's competition, whilst 342 was enough for Chloe Garner to beat the reigning world long drive champion in Phyllis Metty. For more on these winning moments, let's say good morning now to Damon Hack, who is with our Golf Channel Academy lead coach, Travis Fulton. Hi, guys.
Good morning, Carr. How about that Ryan Riesbeck? 6'4", 250 pounds of muscle, nickname the Big Deal. And yesterday, his winning drive of 436 yards through that thin Nevada desert air. He was a big deal. Look at that ball just rolling, and rolling. Travis Fulton, this was fun to watch. And as we look at these numbers here, these TrackMan numbers, I mean, this is insanity, no?
Yeah, well, this is the big deal right here, right? I mean, club head speed 143. I mean, that's just off the charts. That's potential, though, right? Oftentimes, these guys will have good club head speed, but they'll hit it on the heel or low in the face, and they won't maximize the distance. So what really jumps out to me is the ball speed, 216. That's about 1.5, and that's what you want, is the ball speed to be about 1.5 of the club head speed, and that's telling me that they're catching that more in the center of the face. So this was a bomb here, 129 apex, and of course the only number that counts at the end of the day to these long drive people, 436 total distance. Really impressive.
Let's take a closer look at this swing. I tell you what, in the future, they're going to need a bigger grid.
Yes, they are. Few things here to look at, though. I'm always fascinated looking at the long drive hitters. I love this competition. I can't get enough of it. And when you look at this here in the first move, you can almost see him kind of loading up the right side already. Yep. But look at him drag the handle, Damon. He's dragging the handle. That's Hogan. That's Duffner. Right? Ooh. Left wrist kind of cup and dragging the handle. If you want to make a bigger turn at home, this left shoulder travel across, let that left wrist kind of drag the handle. Don't get so early with the wrists here. I like that. That left shoulder is already starting to come across. Of course, we're going to go to the top here now. And just a full turn, right, all the way up. And look at the high hands. He lets the right elbow retract away. A lot of these long drives, they'll just let the right elbow retract away.
Almost stands up a little bit there. Look at that.
He does. He kind of stands up. The spine lengthens. That's because the hands are high. And I think that's a good point, Damon, is that he's really extending the spine some to get the hands up. I think that's a good tip to elevate that turn and get more out of it. Now, we're going to come down. We're going to use the ground, right? We're going to use the ground as leverage. Well, we can see the left leg pushing up, right? I always like to see the belt buckle pushing up as well. And look at that lead shoulder. Look how high that lead shoulder is. A lot of you at home need that left shoulder to be higher through impact. That helps the attack angle move more up. So left leg pushing up, belt buckle thrusting up, left shoulder working up. And look at this right shoulder. It's like he's taking a bite out of his right arm right there. These boys are big, right? You know, you don't have to be, lean and limber to get the ball straight. You know, that's helpful, right? And that's part of it. But I look at these long drive guys. Yeah. Guys are built. They're strong right here in the glute, the core, shoulders, arms. They can get it out there too. It's a lot of fun to watch. And I think there's some things to take away. We don't have the potential in our body to create the speed that they do. But I do think there are some things that we can take away to maybe increase our turn and make the attack angle work more on the way up as we described.
We're going to speak to Ryan next hour, find out how he hits at 436 yards. Are you the long hitter in your group? Go to worldlongdrive.com. You want to compete in the Bluff City Shootout? You can do it. Let's send it back over to Cara.
I'm certainly not the long hitter in my group, Damon, but I will keep trying. Let's turn our attention now to the LPGA Tour, which has moved to Cambridge, Ontario this week for the 6th edition of the Manulife LPGA Classic. It is the first of 2 events north of the border this season and welcomes 11 Canadians in the field, led by world number 15, Brooke Henderson. Well, the 19-year-old, who has already triumphed 3 times on the LPGA Tour, will tee off at 1:32 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. She plays alongside Chan Shanfeng and Eri Jutanigan off of the 10th tee. For more, though, on the hometown hero, let's send it back to you guys. Damon?
All right, Cara, 19 years of age, 3-time winner on the LPGA Tour, native Canadian. She's a major champion, and she hits it long. We're talking about these world long drivers. She doesn't shrimp it out there.
Yeah, she can create speed, too, about 262. Off the tee, one of the longer hitters on the LPGA Tour. And I think kind of keeping the speed theme up, she's learned how to create speed at a young age. We're in June, we're in the summer months, it's junior camps. A lot of you at home, your kids are getting into camp. And we want to create speed at a young age. And there's a lot of truth to that. I'm going to have some fun here. I'm going to show you 5 things to consider, as a young player that I think are good to start to layer into the game at some point in the development. We're going to start here at the grip. So number 1 there, look at that grip. That's a strong grip, right?
Yeah, it is.
That left hand is over to the right, and that V is working towards the right shoulder. I like a stronger grip for the younger people to start. Well, I think it does a couple things. 1, it's going to help them hinge their wrist, which we're going to get to here in a minute because it's more in the fingers. And secondly, with a stronger grip, it gets the club face promotes a little more of a square to slightly closed position, which is going to breed a better downswing plane. And it's also going to help get into a little forward shaft link kind of subconsciously, say, versus a weaker grip in an open face. So I like that little stronger grip to the right to get started. Now, we're going to take it back here. Watch this over here to the left. Number 2, that club head, Damon, is working up. We forget about the up in the backswing. I think it's kind of overdone a bit. Now you go sweep it back, right? Let it come in. Gotta get the club head working up some, right? And when you get the grip in the fingers, you can start to use the left wrist to hinge the club head up, up the line of the lead form. When you get the club head working up, that's going to promote now a bigger turn to the top. So here we go. Let's go to number 3. And as we go to the top, Brooke does not get short in the turn.
Remarkable,
Look at that.
Travis.
Yeah, that is a huge turn in the upper body. And there's those high hands again. There's number 3, right? Look at that left arm and the hands up above the right shoulder. I like young age, get the club head working up, make your turn, and get the hands up above the shoulders. Don't get too around at a young age. Use this as leverage to create speed.
Because you're limber too when you're young.
Yeah. Kids? Get it up here a little bit. You can use that and shallow it out and start creating more speed now on the downswing. And here we come down to the impact. Remember what I was saying with respect to the left shoulder?
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that lead shoulder and learning that at a young age, coming into impact. And as I turn through, my left shoulder higher than my right. When you can do that, look at my spine. My spine's tilted slightly right. My spine's starting to extend a little bit. Too many of you get that left shoulder too low, of course, and that's for another day. We know we start to come over it. So that left shoulder goes up, and then we go to 5. And then look at this. That's a rehinge, right? That's a rehinge. We talk about the wrist hinge in the backswing. I think at a young age, you got to learn how to rehinge it too. You got to learn how to reassemble the wrists as you come through, kind of crack the whip here up the other side. That'll help support the club face and really help maximize the speed all the way to a nice balanced full finish.
We are living in the era of the big hitter. Our work is done for now. We say good morning to Lauren Thompson. What's up, LT?
Damon, wow, I could look at that swing all day. Something to look for with Brooke Henderson this week. But today, we're going to turn it over to your game with help from 2 instructors who've worked with some of the best in the game. As part of today's Golf Channel Academy coaching series, we have a 1-2 punch with Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott with 3 keys to really owning your pre-round preparation just like the pros do. We're also going to be sure to get you prepared for the upcoming day, all about giving a big thank you to Dad. Our Father's Day gift guide rolls on this week as we give you the scoop on apparel and the trends that will have your dad feeling and looking great during his rounds. And someone else who credits looking great well into his 80s is, yes, he's got energy to spare, the one and only Gary Player. Yesterday, though, we kicked off our fitness series with the World Golf Hall of Famer, and today, we're really going to put him to the test with a treadmill workout that is going to wow you on a lot of levels. See the numbers that he reaches and just how fast he can go, and if Matt Janella can keep up. Something else that we need you to keep up with today, your takeaways, something that you're going to learn, because we're with you until 9 a.m. Eastern time today. You want to stick with us the whole time, and then send us on Twitter your morning takeaways, something that you learned from your Wednesday with us in Studio AP, but you got to use that hashtag morning takeaways. We'll be getting to some of the best ones throughout our show today. Morning drive on a Wednesday, just getting warmed up, and we're ready to keep it going, aren't we?
He's getting warmed up for his treadmill sprints.
Treadmill.
You gonna try it out?
Yeah. First time ever.
I thought you didn't run.
I don't run.